All right, welcome everybody. Hope everybody had a great lunch. We're now ready for the second half of the seminar webinar. We got a second additional feature this year that we normally don't do. We normally had the keynote speaker this morning. Well, we've got two keynote speakers to kick off this afternoon. They're from the new Franklin County Jail that you've heard people already talking about. So let me go ahead and introduce them to you. We have Major Chad Thompson. He's the Major of Research and Development and the Project Manager for the Sheriff's Office interest in the design and construction of the new Franklin County Jail. Is that like the world's longest sentence, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, that's long. All right, and then the other gentleman, Chief Deputy John Stobart, is the Research and Development and Corrections Officer for the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. He's been with Franklin County for over 32 years. And with that, gentlemen, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. Chief Deputy Jeff Stobart, Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Like he said, I've been here for 32 years. I'm getting old. I am, again, the Chief Deputy of Research and Development. As part of that, the project that we're going to highlight here falls kind of under my purview. I'm also the Chief Deputy of our Corrections Division now. So I'm doing kind of both roles at this point. So I'm also in charge of the operational aspects of running the facility. I'm not very good at standing still, and I'm not very good at following the rules, so you're going to have to deal with that. Sorry. To understand where we're going, you kind of have to understand where we're at. We have two very old, very antiquated facilities that are both linear designed. There's not a single guard post in any of our facilities where you can physically see inmates. This project for us really started out of the Stepping Up initiative. We were blessed to have been selected as one of the pilot programs by the Council of State Governments as a pilot program for the Stepping Up initiative, dealing with the cycle of folks that are cycling through the doors of our jail that are suffering from mental illness. The Council of State Governments came in, they did a really deep dive into our data here in Franklin County and came back with a pretty large list of recommendations that we should be doing to try to do things to decrease that kind of revolving door of folks that are cycling through the doors of our jail with mental illness. And one of those things, of course, was how we house the mentally ill folks that are cycling through the doors of our jail. So that really was kind of the precipice for this project. Quite frankly, we were blessed that the Franklin County Commissioners fully supported this. It took a little convincing, but once we took them in toward our facilities, they saw what was going on in our current facilities. And with the recommendations that came back from the folks from the Council of State Governments, our project kicked off. We have a pretty short time period here to get a bunch of stuff in. It's kind of hard to come here and talk for 15 minutes about a project that we've been working on for 8 years. So I'm not going to take up a bunch of time. I'm going to kick it over to Major Thompson. Major Thompson works for me in my research and development unit. He's the one that's kind of the project manager for this project, amongst doing other things in our research and development unit. So Chad, I'm going to kick it to him and we'll kind of go from there.
Good. Good afternoon. So what we've done, we created a video. So we were supposed to host the American Jail Association conference about a year and a half ago, and it got put all online for COVID. And so we created this video, and it actually does a pretty good job of showing our building, showing the operational philosophy, where we're going, what we're trying to do. So we'd like to show that, and then we'll talk a little bit after it's done. So if we could watch that.
Hello and welcome. My name is Kevin Boyce, and I'm the president of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners.
I'm Franklin County Commissioner Marilyn Brown.
I'm Franklin County Commissioner John O'Grady. My colleagues and I are pleased to share with you the James A. Carnes Corrections Center, scheduled to open in the fall of 2021.
Smart justice begins with understanding the systemic causes that bring people into contact with the justice system and facing them directly.
In this virtual tour, you will learn about the ways that we've tailored this physical space in order to best serve the inmates, our staff, and the residents of our community.
We took all of the best ideas we could find from all the modern jails across the country and integrated them right here.
It's taken 8 years to create this progressive, state-of-the-art facility.
And we worked with our contractors through the process to ensure that those building this center reflect the diversity of our community.
Our initial goal was 12% participation from small and emerging businesses, and I'm proud to say we doubled that. This effort has been a mammoth undertaking by Franklin County Sheriff's Office, the Board of Commissioners, Public Facilities Management, and the Office of Justice and Planning Programs. We hope that you enjoy the tour.
Hi, I'm Franklin County Sheriff Dallas Baldwin, and welcome to the new Franklin County Correctional Facility. We are nearing completion of Phase 1, which encompasses 429,000 square feet and has the capacity to house as many as 867 inmates. We are eager to become fully operational and complete Franklin County's transition to Strategic Inmate Management, or SIM. We'll learn more about that in a moment, but as we begin the tour, I want you to remember that every square inch of this facility is the product of meticulous planning and collaboration with one goal in mind, and that is better service to the people of Franklin County.
Hi, I'm Major Chad Thompson, and welcome to Pre-Booking. This space was designed for the safe and efficient reception of arrestees. Pre-booking provides law enforcement with ample space to seat the arrestee and complete paperwork. A dedicated medical team ensures the arrestee is fit to be taken into custody, and a dedicated space for the municipal clerk of courts allows staff to accept payments, assign case numbers, and help the arresting agencies process their paperwork in a safe environment and get back out on the street as quickly as possible. This space is also designed to receive and process those who are suspected of driving under the influence. It includes a room to test a suspect's blood alcohol content and a carefully designed space for drug recognition experts, or DREs, to conduct tests that meet high court standards. Arrestees entering the facility begin the process here, at reception. This is where Strategic Inmate Management, or SIM, begins. One of the key philosophies of SIM is that people will comply with rules and behave appropriately through positive reinforcement and mutual respect. The booking process is designed to be as stress-free as possible for both inmates and staff. People be directed to sit in these seats and wait for their name to be called. Listening for your name to be called and going up to our counter is not necessarily a linear process. You could be called to be fingerprinted and photographed, and then be told to sit down and wait again. Medical may call you back up to do some follow-up questions. It allows the person to sit, relax. There'll be a bank of phones to use. Most of the time, the first person people call isn't the person that's going to pay their bond. Here, we have space. If it takes you 3 or 4 phone calls, make them. One of the things you've seen in this space are these windows. This leads out to an atrium that brings a lot of natural light into this space. Natural light helps reduce stress. We have staff that walk into this space every day for 25 years. And so we want to make sure that while we are doing things for the arrestees, we're also taking care of our staff. We've shown you a lot of spaces that have been purposely designed to limit or lower the stress on the people who come to jail and to provide the greatest opportunity for compliance. But we know that not everybody who comes to jail will be compliant. We have single cells for them. However, those inmates are the exception. We know that 75% of the people who come to jail leave within 72 hours. Those people are Hannibal Lecter. They generally follow rules, and for whatever reason, they're here. Let's take that research one step further. Studies show a woman's path to incarceration is vastly different from a man's. Here in Franklin County, we've made a sincere effort to be trauma-informed and gender responsive. This space reflects that. A woman's path to incarceration typically involves Sexual abuse, physical abuse. We have designed this space that is out of the view of the general reception area. Provides a little bit of privacy where our staff can walk them through the intake process in as calm and respectful way as possible. Once the reception process is complete, the inmate will either pay their bond and be released, or they'll be with us through arraignment. That will happen in one of our orientation housing units, where Lieutenant Thad Lookaball is waiting to show us around.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Thad Lookaball, and we're currently standing in one of 3 orientation housing units. The new facility includes 2 113-bed units for our males and 1 71-bed unit for our females. The assessment completed in reception will determine whether the inmate is assigned to a multi-bed cell or a single cell. Each inmate is provided a short orientation by uniformed staff, providing general information, a layout of the unit, and set behavioral expectations. I will share some of the unique design features located within the housing unit. As you can see, the abundance of natural light continues throughout the facility. This space is designed specifically for medical and mental health professionals. Here is where they'll complete treatments, assessments, and physicals. This is a perfect example of how we bring services to the inmate rather than having to move the inmate throughout the facility. There is also space designed specifically for video arraignment. Following arraignment, inmates will meet with one of our classification specialists where they will receive a more comprehensive risk and needs assessment before being placed into general population housing. That's where Chief Deputy Jeff Stobart is waiting for us.
Hi, I'm Chief Deputy Jeff Stobart, and welcome to one of our general population housing units. This unit is designed as a direct supervision housing unit using strategic inmate management as our operational philosophy. Sheriff Dallas Baldwin and the Franklin County Commissioners partnered with the National Institute of Corrections to embrace that curriculum. Because of that, we are confident that we will create a better environment for the inmates and staff. The expectation is that 95% of the folks who come through the doors of this facility are going to do exactly what we ask them to do. For that small percentage of high-risk inmates who may engage in disruptive or violent behavior, the center is equipped with prefabricated steel single cells located in our special housing unit. I'll show you some of the unique features, including this rec space built directly into the housing unit. Deputies will have the option of opening these roll-up doors when the weather is appropriate and allow natural fresh air to come into the building. What you can see is a ton of natural light, and that's one of the things that we wanted to focus on as part of this construction. Another unique feature is this netting that surrounds the mezzanine level of the housing units. It's basically baseball netting. And when you look at it, it looks like it's there for your safety and not a cage. One of the other advantages to this netting is very much like a baseball game. When you watch a baseball game, many times you're watching a baseball game through the netting on video. We have a lot of video cameras, there's a lot of surveillance in this space, and what we found is this works really well with our camera system. We are very aware that many of the folks that are coming through the doors of our facility are suffering from either some type of mental health issue or drug or alcohol issue. That is why the design of the facility includes dedicated space for a mental health and medical unit. Inmates diagnosed with serious medical needs or struggling with mental health crisis will receive the specialized care they need. The goal is to ultimately transition those inmates to a general population housing units when possible. The new corrections center is also home to a detoxification unit where medical staff is embedded with the inmates. The space includes nearly 36 beds for inmates trying to overcome drug or alcohol addiction. The design includes additional restroom facilities and showers. Our goal is to provide the inmates with treatment and counseling, connect them to resources and services in the community when they leave our facility, and hopefully reduce recidivism. We really took into consideration staff well-being as part of the design of this facility. Chief Deputy Penny Perry Ballinier will now show you some of those design elements.
Hi, I'm Chief Deputy Penny Perry Ballinier. I'm standing here today in one of our locker room facilities. As you can see, there's ample space for the employees to store their gear, personal property, and their uniforms. Employees will need that extra space if they want to take advantage of the more than 2,700 square foot state-of-the-art wellness center. The design provides an opportunity for employees to enhance their well-being regardless of where they are on their fitness journey. A dedicated staff dining area will give employees a chance to reset and enjoy some fresh air in a courtyard space inside the security perimeter. These designs are evidence that the health and well-being of our staff is a top priority. Both staff and inmates will be served by the facility's sleek commercial kitchen that includes not one, but 2 walk-in refrigerators. There is enough space and equipment for staff to produce 9,000 meals every day. There's one area in the new Franklin County Correctional Facility that we consider the heart of the facility. That is central control. We have asked Deputy Corey Oakley to show you around.
Hi, I'm Sheriff's Deputy Corey Oakley. The collaborators on this project wanted to build a progressive, state-of-the-art control center for our new facility. We toured controlled centers all over the country and couldn't find one that checked all the boxes. Today, I will show you some of the design elements that make this space unique. Central control includes 6 stations. 2 of these stations have the capability to be used as backup for our patrol bureau in an emergency situation. Let me draw your attention to the video wall, which contains 18 cinemassive screens, the same kind that they use at NASA. In addition to monitoring an undisclosed number of surveillance cameras, deputies assigned to this space will monitor emergency power, fire emergencies, elevator control, and access to and throughout the facility. The control center has stadium-tiered seating. It was intentionally designed to provide unobstructed views of the video wall. The design also provides for the staff's comfort. Console desks are designed to be raised and lowered if a deputy chooses to sit or stand, and each console is equipped with individual heat and air conditioning. The control center really is the heart of our facility. Once it's safe, we encourage you to come and visit, get an up-close and personal view of our unique space, and take some of our ideas home with you.
Thank you for joining us for this virtual tour. We hope that it's now clear why Franklin County invested in this cutting-edge correction center. We want to thank the AJA for this opportunity to share ideas and learn from each other, and we are thankful of all our partners who played a vital role in developing and creating the Franklin County James A. Carnes Correction Center to better serve the community for years to come.
So that shows a lot of the focus of what we were trying to do, what we're trying to do with the design. And we're changing the philosophy of how we run corrections. Some very key goals of ours were to create a building that was bright. Look, it's hard to use the word inviting for a jail but we wanted it to not have this draconian containment feel. And we needed to do that not only for the residents that were being incarcerated, but our staff. One of the biggest pushes, and I give a lot of credit to our commissioners for backing this up, was we really took staff wellness seriously and tried to create a workspace that was supportive to the staff. The windows in booking in our reception area. When our staff first saw it, they were a little hesitant. And I told them, I said, look, if you've ever had an office without a window, and then you get an office with a window, right? Now you realize how important those are, and we put windows in your office. Because every day you come to work, this is your office. We put a window in your office, and that kind of put it in a perspective for them, right? So doing those things while there, it clearly benefits the incarcerated population. We very much want to take care of our staff. Lessons learned, Chief?
You know, quite frankly for us, I mean, I think one of the best things that we did, and one of the things that the commissioners blessed us with being able to do, and our project team, was we traveled the country, guys. I mean, we literally traveled the country from coast to coast. We toured jails everywhere, and we learned something every single place we went. Whether that was something minute like an operational philosophy, or whether that was, going to see Steel Cell America. Those types of trips were invaluable to us, to see how other folks did things. I think the more you learn from others, the better. And quite frankly, for those of you who have been through our facility or those that get the opportunity to go through the facility, you're going to go, well, hey, I've seen that before in Tarrant County, Texas. I've seen that before in Kent County, Michigan. We stole, quite frankly, and I'm proud to say it, we stole the best ideas we could find from all over the country that worked for us, that worked here in Franklin County. Every county's different, every county jail's different. What works in your community may not work in ours, and vice versa. So what we tried to do was steal the best ideas possible from the folks all over the country. I think one of the other big things was for us becoming educated and more educated about the process. We started off, Chad and I laughed, neither one of us ever even built a shed in our backyard, and now we're in charge of a $500 million construction project. I'm a cop. This is outside my wheelhouse. So having the time, getting the time to learn from others was absolutely invaluable to us. One of the things I can tell you that my role has changed through this project. I was the chief of corrections when the project began. At some point I drifted to just running research and development. Now I'm back to doing both. But there's absolutely no way in hell I could have been a jail commander running a major county jail and tried to do this project by myself. So putting Chad in place to help manage this project, as well as an entire team of guys from the sheriff's office to do that, I think was really key to some of our successes with this project. And I'm sure Chad has 500 more things we can talk about.
We've learned a lot, and I couldn't stress I can't stress enough, what the chief was saying about you have to have, and we understand that we are blessed, and we are on the top whatever percent when you're talking about size and scope of projects, and our county is financially secure. We're blessed. But talking to jail commanders and sheriffs all over the country, big and small, having somebody, preferably more than one person, that is dedicated to your project is invaluable. I haven't talked to a sheriff yet that has not, when they haven't done that, they get into the building and go, why is that, or why is that? So being involved and having somebody who's not being pulled in 5 directions is really important. And if you do have those people, the last thing I'll tell you, is the lesson we learned is to respect the specifications. I think people in this room understand if it's not in the specification, right? If it's not on paper, it didn't happen. And we spent a lot of time looking at plans and doing things with plans, and not as much time as we should have early on reading the specifications. You sit in a design meeting, and we have some of the best design, both companies and people attached to our project. But you sit in those meetings for 5 hours, 6 hours, and you've talked about 500 things, and everybody's taking notes. Look, everybody's human, or we've had to go back and go, ooh, did we agree to that? Because we remember talking about 50 things. But at the end of the day, when they start building and we go, well, where's this one thing? It's not in the spec. What do you mean it's not in the spec? We talked about it. And, right? And so have somebody, you need a minutia guy. You need a guy who really, really has a lot of fun with the minutia, and respect the specifications. It's a lesson, that is the biggest lesson we learned over time. So,
And quite frankly, be open. I mean, be open to new ideas. We get it. We get that we're stepping outside of the box a little bit with the design of this facility. But this is also what our community has asked for, quite frankly. And we're, while we're still the sheriff's office and still, serve a separate elected official, this, quite frankly, our county commissioners, our entire county criminal justice system as a whole, quite frankly, is moving in the same direction. So this change in operational philosophy is really what not only is the best practice coming out of the National Institute of Corrections currently with strategic inmate management and managing inmate behavior, but it's really what our community is asking for. So for us, this works. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. Every single county, again, I believe is very different. We wanted to leave time for questions. I know you guys probably, this group will probably get more questions than we even want, but if you want us to answer questions, we're happy to sit here and do that as long as you want us to. We, what I will tell you is don't ask us questions you don't want the answers to, because we've been doing this for a long time and we're pretty honest at this point, so like.
Hey, yeah, you mentioned the things you're doing for your staff.
Yeah.
How many total, if it's fully staffed, will work now?
So uniform staff, eventually at full build out, it's going to be around 408 uniform staff, and then probably another 200 and a quarter civilian staff that will work in that building at full build out.
Just to follow up, you guys have been in law enforcement for a long time. What do you think that new building is going to do as far as recruitment for you guys?
It's interesting. So we've just now started doing some of our recruiting videos that have just recently been pushed out into the public in the building, and actually filming those commercials in the building. And we've seen a pretty significant jump, quite frankly, in the number of applicants that we're seeing come through the door and take our test. Probably pre this push, I'm going to call it a push to get enough folks to fully open the new facility. We were only seeing probably 20 or 30 applications coming through, or people actually taking the test monthly. We use a national testing service to do that. Since we've started running these videos, since people have seen, it can be a pretty decent place to work, pretty nice working conditions. On top of, we're dealing with, kind of the younger generation, and that technology piece is what really seems to attract folks from the younger generations. Is there's so much technology in this building that we've never had in the past that seems to be attracting folks. We're seeing, anywhere from 80 to 100 a month applying right now. I actually missed the morning session because I was interviewing potential candidates, so that's actually exactly where I was before we got started today.
Very good.
Anybody else? All right. Well, hey, look, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you, watching our videos. Some of you have been to the building, and your feedback has been valuable, and others, I'm sure, hurry up before we put inmates in it, if you want to see it. So, well, we're trying to keep those numbers down. So,
Our construction manager's back there. He keeps telling me he's going to give me the keys here pretty soon. So once we get the keys, there's going to be about a 3-month window where we're going to allow folks to come in and tour. So, John, April, May, June. We're probably going to get the keys in June, it's looking like. So we'll more than likely move inmates in sometime in September. So that kind of window for those folks who are interested in coming to see it is a pretty good time to reach out to Major Thompson and come take a look at the facility in between that time. Up until then, we'd like to let John and the construction management firm continue to work in the building and get it done so we can have it.
Joe, thank you for letting us come.
Thank you, guys.